Jose Rizal, a Filipino nationalist and polymath, was born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Laguna, Philippines. During the Spanish colonial period, he was an ophthalmologist, writer, poet, and revolutionary who advocated for reforms in the Philippines under Spanish rule. Rizal's novels Dolmi Tangere and El Filibusterismo exposed the corruption and oppression of the Spanish colonizers and inspired the Philippine Revolution. He was also a prolific writer of essays, poetry, and correspondence expressing his ideas on religion, education, and society. One of the most controversial issues surrounding Jose Rizal was his alleged retraction of his views against the Catholic Church. Before execution by firing squad on December 30, 1896, some scholars believe that the retraction documents was forgery or obtained under duress, while others argue that Rizal may have genuinely changed his views. Regardless of the controversy, Jose Rizal remains a national hero in the Philippines, celebrated for his intellect, patriotism, and courage. His legacy continues to inspire Filipinos to strive for social justice, freedom, and independence.
Historical background of the document. Dr. Rizal, a leader of the reformist movement against Spain, known as the Philippine Revolution. He was detained, put on a trial, and given the death penalty by a Spanish court-martial. After spending several hours being persuaded by the Jesuit priest on December 30, 1896, there are reports that Rizal recanted his Masonic beliefs and came back to Catholicism. Rizal signed a document a few hours before he was killed, referring to it as the Retraction, in which he claimed to be a Catholic and renounced all of his works against the Church. Rizal's trial and execution were highly controversial, and many Filipinos saw him as a martyr and a hero of the Revolution. The circumstances surrounding his supposed retraction have been a topic of debate and controversy for many years, with some scholars questioning whether it took place. Father Manuel Garcia C.M. found Rizal's letter of retraction in 1935 at the Manila Repository of the Catholic Hierarchy. The letter was written on December 29, 1896. Witnesses. Father Vicente Balaguer claimed to be a Jesuit priest who visited Rizal in Fort Santiago. He claimed to have convinced Rizal to retract all of his writings critical of the Catholic Church and to declare that he was a Catholic. Still, Balaguer's claim lacks sufficient proof to support its veracity. According to an article by Xiao Chua, Father March, Father Villaclara, and their colleague were the two priests that entered Rizal's cell during his investigation. However, no one mentioned Father Balaguer's presence. Josephine Bracken received the book De la Imitación de Cristo during her last visit to Rizal. There are written notes by Rizal inside the book, December 30, 1896. To my beloved and miserable wife, Josephine, also its said wife, to Josephine Bracken, indicating that they were legally wed before he was put to death. Father P.U.P. was in charge of the Jesuit in the Philippines in the time of Rizal's execution. He published an affidavit in 1917, detailing his participation in the purported Rizal retraction. He was only involved in getting the retraction letter from the Manila Archbishop and producing a second shorter retraction letter that Rizal supposedly copied.
Rafael Palma is the author of Biografia de Rizal, which details the national hero's life. Chapters 32 and 33 contain the supposed Rizal retraction tale, and chapter 34 contains Palma's interpretation. Austin Coates was an assistant colonial secretary and magistrate in Hong Kong when he began to have an interest in Jose Rizal. Rizal, Philippines National and Martyr by Oxford Dictionary Press, year 1956, analysis of Rizal's retraction and other events that happened before his execution. While the issue of Jose Rizal's retraction remains a controversial and debate topic, it is important to consider multiple sources and analyses to gain a comprehensive understanding of the historical background and context surrounding it. One source worth considering is the book The First Filipino, the award-winning biography of Jose Rizal by Leon Maria Guerrero. In this book, the author presents an in-depth analysis of Rizal's life, including his view on religion and the role of the Catholic Church in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial. Another important source to consider is the testimony of witnesses who were present during Rizal's final stage. For example, historian Xiao Chua has pointed out that there is no mention of Padre Balaguer in the accounts of other witnesses who were present during Rizal's interrogation, such as Father March, Villa Clara, and Andrade. This raises questions about the authenticity of Balaguer's claims and suggests that there may be other factors at play in the purported retraction. Ultimately, the question of whether or not Rizal retracted his beliefs remains a matter of debate, and it is up to historians and scholars to continue examining the available evidence and analyzing the historical context to arrive at a more complete understanding of this complex and controversial issue.
Content and contextual analysis of the important historical information found in the document. First, Rizal Retraction is a continuous text with many questioning its legitimacy and others defending it. So it means scholars and historians have debated the Rizal Retraction extensively since it is continuous text written and signed on December 29, 1896. Just a few days before his execution, the paper purports to be anti-Catholic views. Many academics have questioned the retraction legitimacy, while others have defended it as a legitimate document, making it a hotly debated and contentious subject. Next, Rizal retraction has historical value as evidence of his conversion to Catholicism and acceptance of Spanish colonial power. The paper has considerable historical value because it has been cited to back up various claims concerning Rizal's political and religious ideas. Some contend that the retraction is a hoax intended to damage Rizal's reputation as a national hero and a martyr of the Philippine Revolution, while some claim that it is evidence of Rizal's conversion to Catholicism and acceptance of Spanish colonial power. Next, Rizal's retraction was disputed by his closest friends and followers, who believed the Spanish government forced it. So, when the Spanish government published the document in the newspaper La Voz Española shortly after Rizal was put to death, they claimed that Rizal had recounted his anti-Catholic views and expressed regret for his deeds. This sparked controversy surrounding the retraction. The retraction's validity was disputed by several of Rizal's closest friends and followers, including his sisters, who said that it not accurately reflects Rizal's genuine conviction and was probably forced by the Spanish government. Rizal's retraction was signed by himself and witnessed by two Spanish priests, and his work demonstrates his respect for Catholicism and confidence in God. So, both arguments have been supported by a number of pieces of evidence. The retraction was signed by Rizal himself and witnessed by two well-known Spanish priests, according to those who defend it. They also cite Rizal's own works, in which he demonstrates his respect for Catholicism and his confidence in God. According to those who contend it is a fabrication was written in Spanish, a language Rizal was not known to be fluent in. Additionally, they draw attention to the document's discrepancies such as how it refers to Rizal's errors rather than his crime, which was the terminology used during his trial. Jose Rizal's retraction provides insight into the political and religious climate of the Philippines in the late 19th century. According to our own research, retraction is nonetheless a significant historical record that provides insight into the complicated political and religious climate of the Philippines in the late 19th century. Despite the ongoing controversy over its veracity, it acts as a reminder of the difficulties early Filipino nationalists encountered in their fight for independence as well as Jose Rizal's ongoing influence as a figure of the Philippine national and resistant to colonial power.
Contribution. It contributes to encouraging the youth of Philippines to develop in all facets of citizenship. Be aware the Rizal legacy will play a significant role in improving the state of our current society. His lesson exhort all Filipinos to uphold Rizal ideas in order to positively influence the future of our nation. His sense of nationalism, which persisted his entire life, is one of Rizal's outstanding traits. He opposes Spanish control and will stop at nothing to ensure that all Filipinos feel the same way. With that, the Filipinos will forge their own sense of nationalism and are likely to align with one another in their opposition to the Spaniards. Even though Rizal was going through a lot of emotional hardship, he remained committed to giving his life in order to save the country. But Rizal had his own shortcomings just like every other person, and they could have caused him to compromise some of his ideals. The withdrawal of his criticism of the Catholic Church is one illustration.
For the relevance, what we have here is that the Spanish authorities were hoping that by presenting the retraction document, Rizal's death won't serve as a rallying cry for the Filipino people in their struggle for independence. Rizal's extrication from theological mistakes has been a very contentious issue ever since it was first brought up. They are so afraid of it that even the authorities went back on a promise to Rizal's family to give them the body after the execution, and instead deposited it on a secret unmarked grave to save face for the friars who Rizal mocked and derided in his writings. The veracity of this purported retraction has not, however, been conclusively demonstrated.